Last year we raised our own pasture chickens and we processed them and packaged them ready to eat.
Tonight we are going to cook a whole chicken, and I want to show you how we cook a whole chicken in our house. First thing I did was defrost our bird, and then I preheat the oven to 425. The next thing I like to do is prepare my bird. I like to bend the wings back so that way it looks like he is resting with his arms behind his head, and that will help keep the wingtips from burning. Some people like to cover this part of the leg with foil or some kind of a cloth. I don't do that, but you can. I like to use an iron skillet, cast iron skillet, to cook our chicken in. I find that this really browns really nicely and it cooks the bird really from the inside out. So the first thing that I like to do is stuff the bird. So what I've got here is half an onion, half a lemon, some garlic, or a head of garlic. Usually when the garlic gets down to these little tiny pieces, I find that I really don't have time to pick out each of the little tiny ones and chop them up and take off the skins. So I save them for when I'm making whole chicken. So what I do is just stuff the inside cavity of the bird. This is a bird that we grew ourselves, so I already know that all of the insides are taken out of the chicken, but if you're purchasing one from the store, it may have a bag inside that you want to take out. And then I take half of the lemon and I just also put that right in here. Depending on the size of the onion, you can put the whole thing in there or just chop it up. It looks like this is a pretty big half, so I'm just gonna stick just this half right inside. The next thing that I like to add is apple cider vinegar. This is a great meat tenderizer and it also has really great flavor. I don't measure, but you can probably add just 1 to 2 tablespoons, and I like to just drizzle it right on top of the bird. And the next thing that I like to add is sea salt. I just add it right on top, but you can most certainly add it in the inside as well. The next thing is cracked peppercorns. And then I like to add turmeric on top. This is how you melt the butter without a microwave. After you've melted, I have about like 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter. After you've melted it, you want to, you can use a silicone brush. If you don't have one, it's not a big deal. I've just gone and poured it all over the top and it works just fine. If you have a silicone brush, you can just brush the melted butter like right on top and then just start brushing it like right on top. And the more butter that you put, the crispier the skin will get. That just improves the flavor. And then once you've kind of just got inside the little cracks, you can just pour the rest at the top. Next, you want to put it in the oven for, remember, at 425 for about an hour, depending on the size of your bird. If you have a really big Cornish cross hen from the grocery store, you might want to do like an hour and a half. But if you have a smaller, like a heritage breed bird, you can do up to an hour. You want to keep an eye on it after 45 minutes and just keep checking it. This is like a basic recipe for a whole chicken. You can start dressing the bird with slices of onions all around it and some carrots and potatoes. But this is just like a basic recipe that we like to use and cook for our family dinners at least once a week. It has been about an hour, so let's take a look at this chicken and see how it looks. like to tell if it's done is you can cut this open here and tell between this thigh and this ribs here to see if the juices run clear, and you can tell by the meat will look like it's fully cooked. Our meat looks pretty good, so this has been cooking for about an hour.
We like eating the whole chicken because we don't like to waste anything. We eat the liver, the feet, we save the heart, and when we're done, we use the whole chicken, and we save the bones, and we make bone broth out of it. And if you subscribe to our newsletter, we'll write down the recipe, and we'll send it off on one of the Friday newsletters that we send out. We appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time.